You are listening to Pillars, Untold Stories of Women with Incarcerated Loved Ones.
My name is Alice. I'm a mom, I'm a grandma, I'm an advocate, and I am a woman with an incarcerated loved one.
My name is Raylene. I'm a daughter, a mother, an advocate, and I'm also a woman with an incarcerated loved one.
When I think about reentry, I think about rebirth. I think about new beginnings. I think about what lies ahead, the things that I don't know, and actually what I'm just up against as a whole. Oftentimes I don't know what I'm up against because reentry for um, each individual is different. And because there are so many components, oftentimes you don't know what to expect. But I believe when you put in the work that is required to assist your loved one reacclimate back into society, I think that in and of itself is a start.
When I think about reentry, I feel excitement, I feel stress, I feel a lot of work that needs to be done. I feel overwhelmed with preparing, planning, taking care of things for my loved one, for his return. Also, excitement, all of the excitement and joy of having my loved one come home.
Hey, Ray, how's it going for you today?
It's going good, Miss Ellis. How you been?
Girl, I've been doing well. It's good to see you again. You look wonderful.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you. So now we're sitting here, we're talking about reentry of our loved ones. What do you feel about reentry?
I feel a lot of things. But let's hear your story because I know you have some
Well,
to share about your reentry experience with your brother.
well, my brother was released 2 years ago, 2 years and 2 days ago today.
Wow.
So we're going to be celebrating that later via the telephone because
Yeah.
he's in Northern California. I kind of resent that I wasn't there to pick him up like many of the other people pick up their loved ones. But after he came home, it was about social security card, driver's license, and a job. And which I'm so proud to say he not only found one job, but he found two.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So that really pleased me. I was really pleased about that. But I had some concerns. My concerns initially was the fact that he returned back to Oakland to where his crime was committed. Would he fall back in line with the same type of people? And so far to this day, I'm so pleased to say that he hasn't. My role with him while he was incarcerated was visits, making sure that he had the necessities. The visits alone, I believe, made a lot of difference because human contact is important for them, because or you're in the back, you're not being able to really mix and mingle with your loved ones. Those visits were kind of expensive, you're gonna have to take uh some time to train and some time to plane, depending on how my income, my finances were. And it made me feel good. And he made me feel loved too, because it was really around about that time that, family wasn't doing that no more because, I come from a family, we have so many loved ones that are in the carceral system, right? So everyone gets burnt out, but this is my ministry, this is what I do, and I will continue to do it. But I'm proud of my brother for just the way that he showed his appreciation, just for the small things that I've done, be it financially or be it for the visits. He really appreciated. And how do you feel about that?
I mean, financially and emotionally, like I think those are two really big key factors in things that are needed in supporting our loved ones that are incarcerated. I know that those were two huge things that I supported my husband with. From I mean, while he was incarcerated, there's like do the packages and all that kind of stuff, and then when we found out he's coming home, I started saving money for his return.
Yeah.
Um, I went and shopped for him to have clothes to wear, all of the toiletries he needed. And then when he came home, when I picked him up, he got out on a Friday and didn't get into he had to go to transitional housing, so we checked him in on Monday. So, um, and I have my parents that live at home with me, so I didn't bring him to my house right away because I didn't know him yet. So then there was the cost of having to have hotel accommodations each weekend, so there was so much money spent. And then when he went into the transitional home, um for him, his big thing that he needed support with was technology. Technology was huge, and of course, I had a phone ready for him. Another financial expense,
Yeah.
but I had a phone ready for him for when he got home. But I had to show him how to navigate, with the phone, right? And I remember one thing specifically when he got home. I again, I thought I planned everything. I got him clothes, I got him his, socks and underwear, everything I thought he could need. We get him to the transitional home and I left already and he calls me up and he's like, I don't have any sheets or a towel or a blanket. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. You don't think about all those details, right? Luckily, I know technology. So I told him, hold on. And I went online and I ordered from a store and I had it delivered to where he lived. And there was just so many little instances like that. He didn't work right away. I encouraged him not to work. That was where I felt like it was important for him to get his feet on the ground first. I was like, don't, so many men want to come home and I feel like they want to make a name for themselves and prove to society like I can get a job, look at me. And the quicker they get a job, like they feel this pride in that. And it was so hard for my husband at first because he didn't have his own money. So it was relying on me and my income to support all of his needs financially, whatever he needed. Um, and of course, it wasn't easy for him when he needed a couple extra dollars to, go buy food or whatnot. And he didn't have so much money to treat me to places and whatnot. But I kept encouraging him, just wait, be patient. Those things will come in time. Get your feet on the ground. You've been gone for so long. And he did. And he's really glad that he did it that way. And here's another thing, is that the prisons don't tell you, oh, plan for this day. We're going to release them. You just have to be on your toes and ready.
Yes. Yes, you do.
And I mean, think about it. I was fortunate working where I was at the time that I had the time to take off when needed without a 2 week notice ahead and those sort of things. Not everybody has those privileges and luxuries. So it puts a lot of stress, on families to have to plan for all of that.
So I'm curious to know, what was it like for you to see a husband, somebody get out of the van? Wow, I know it was powerful.
It was.
I know it was. I know it was.
So I went early. I stood at a hotel nearby. That way I could wake up in the morning to go get it because I was like, I want to be there. I don't want to miss it. You hear so many different stories. Like they'll take them to the train station or something if you're not there. So
Yeah.
I got up early and got ready and I went and waited and as soon as I say I was nervous. I was excited. I was nervous. Uh, gosh, so many feelings came over me.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's soon as they let him out, they identified who I was, they let him out of the van. We just hugged each other, but he was so eager to just get in the car and go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we had our nice hug and then put his stuff in the car, and it was just start driving.
Reentry ain't no joke.
No, it's not.
It's serious and it's serious work, and oftentimes people will want to know, well, how do we prepare for reentry?
Right.
You don't.
No.
You don't. There's things that that you and I did, but if I were to tell someone, how would you prepare for reentry? I would tell them, you just have to go with your gut, because you don't know how they're gonna be coming out. You don't know. Even they may show us one thing,
Right.
but once they get out, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
I would recommend that perhaps they have certain needs in place, like if they had a drug habit or something, um, if they need more psychological help, because oftentimes the prisons don't offer all that to them, and it's left upon us. And when my brother had came out, one of the things I made sure that I had in place was resources. It was difficult because I had to do it I'm here in Southern California, and I'm trying to find resources for him in Northern California, right? But my brother's reentry has been good.
That's great.
It's been good. And no matter how much we plan, you don't always go with your plan, huh? It doesn't always go there, right? But the fact of the matter is that as a village, we made it work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If I were to let another woman who has an incarcerated loved one coming home, if I were to give them some advice, I would say, let go of any expectations of what you think it's going to look like. You don't know.
You don't.
And I would also say to practice patience. A lot of patience is needed, because they're coming home to a new world, to a new society. My husband's biggest thing was the technology, and I had to have a lot of patience to show him how to navigate through these smartphones and everything. He had to, take the metro and bus lines, and I had to help him navigate to figure out all those little things. And I think have a lot of patience with not only your loved one that's returning, but with yourself. Yeah, I think that's so important. So those would be my two pieces of advice: is let go of any expectations of what you think it's going to look like for their return, and have patience with yourself and with your loved one.
I couldn't agree with you more.
If you are navigating the reentry of your loved one, you are not alone. Share your story with us at pillarspod.com/untold.